It's a big mumbo jumbo. We don't need much of this at all. Got to run one from the driver's side to the passenger side. Passenger side then goes straight down to switch number 1, which is going to be my ditch lights. Happening a lot quicker than the last 2 videos. Actually wants to tip forward because all the weight where it's at. Okay guys, so a couple things here. Switch Pro app again. Man. Jeez, it's like the bat symbol. That's insane. Welcome back to the Blue Garage, guys. This is 3 videos in one day. I know you probably didn't think that whenever you were watching the last 2. Maybe you did, I don't know. But we installed the pod hole lights to the Switch Pros. Then we did the chase lights, the S2s, up on the bed to the Switch Pros. Now we have these big guys, the XL80s. These things are just massive, and these are gonna go on as ditch lights on either side of the hood. I mean, just wow, I mean, huge. So without further ado, guys, I mean, we are gonna get started on this project. As I'm doing this, I would like for you guys to do me a favor. Just hit that like button. Helps the channel grow. We're flying. We're just going 100 miles per hour, and we're growing extremely fast. And I couldn't be any more grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you. Like this video, subscribe, share with your friends. For the harness here, it's a big mumbo jumbo. Believe it or not, we don't need much of this at all because it comes with its own fuse. We don't have that need. And it comes with light switch. Again, something we do not need. So with that being said, light switch here and fuse here. This means these are the 2 switches to the lights. I'm just gonna cut the lights off, or the switches for the lights off. Don't need this, okay? So now I have all this excess wire. You're probably wondering why I would cut those rather than use everything. This is already wired for me, ready to connect. Awesome. So you plug in each light, right? Got to run one from the driver's side to the passenger side. Passenger side then goes straight down to switch number 1, which is going to be my ditch lights, or the XL80s on the Switch Pro panel that I have. And then we connect to the negative and we're done. And what's awesome is we have these awesome brackets from Peak Suspension. So I already have the Summit kit, I have the sway bar spacer, I have the bumper spacer, I have the tie rod sleeve. Now we're gonna install the brackets for their ditch lights. So in order to do that, let me go get a quick measurement how long this wire needs to be. Once I have that measurement, then I can solder in where I need to on my Baja design lights, and we'll be good to go. All I'm gonna do is start assembling the brackets to the Peak brackets. So the Baja design brackets to the Peak back brackets. I'm gonna worry about the lights last because I need to install these on the hood. In order to do that properly, having a heavy light on the other side is just gonna make it really awkward to do. One thing at a time, I'll just go with the Peak brackets first. It's important to note that the brackets will mount like so on the lights. So they will round backwards or to the rear of the vehicle. Now that I have those done, I can mount these underneath the hood, obviously driver and passenger side respectively, just using the hood bolts that are already provided. Then all of this hardware is for the 4 screws, 2 on either side for each light. The measurement from basically outside the fender to the outside of the fender is 70 inches. The reason why I'm overshooting is rather be safe than sorry. If you watched the last video, it almost came up a little short on the wiring and would have had to do it all over again, and that would have been a nightmare. So just to see how long this cord is, let's see. I'll extend it the length of the table to there. And the table is 52 inches, another 52 inches. So call that 104 inches right there, guys. So more than enough. I am going to use everything from the driver's side light all the way over to the passenger side, and then I'm going to make my cut. So just going to cut the wire there. There is our 72 inches there. Any excess wire can be removed later. Remember that adding wire is more of a pain, so don't make the same mistake I almost made. I am gonna let this hide beneath the hood. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie that into the tubing that is hiding the rest of our wire. So I'm gonna leave more than enough to zip tie that and hide that as needed, but I'm going to cut right here, and I can even use this black and white wiring for the remainder of the job. What's up guys? If you guys want your product or maybe your sticker featured on the Blue Garage, hit me up, let me know. Not only will I put your sticker on the toolbox, but I'll feature your product in one of my videos installing on the truck. So here goes nothing. Make sure you guys shout out. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. The channel is growing fast. We're almost to 4,000. Probably by the end of the week, we'll be there. This one's for ZR2 Full, ZR2 Bison. Can't wait to get out there with you. Ocotillo, or hey, I'll go out to California, further out in California. I know Ocotillo's in California, but this is 880. I entered to win one of their cars. Obviously, yeah, that didn't happen. We can dream. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share this channel with your friends. Send me some stickers, I'll throw them on here. Get to see your stuff on YouTube. Let's go. So I am gonna solder these two together, the driver and passenger side, but then I'm gonna have a third wire, one hot, one ground, that is gonna go to the Switch Pro module for the hot, and then the ground bus, or the ground block for the ground. All right, that is good. Just gonna let this cool down. Happening a lot quicker than the last two videos. The lights are in a much simpler location, being up under the hood rather than to the rear of the vehicle and having to run wire all the way, splicing multiple times. Much easier splicing once here and then once under the hood, and that is it. We are good to install our hood mounts. We need a 13mm socket, and since it's dark out and we've been shooting all day, a headlamp isn't gonna hurt us either, so let's get going. So these are gonna mount from the back. Let me just set this here so I can show you carefully without scratching your paint. You just gotta wiggle them there to get them there. So I gotta get those two brackets out, or those two bolts out, so I can get the bracket on. They are 13mm. Highly recommend you have somebody hold the hood for you. All right, one bracket on. Couple things I want to point out there is that whenever somebody is also holding the bracket, or the hood, I mean, it feels like it's going to fall. So it actually wants to tip forward because all the weight where it's at. So just be cognizant of that. And then also the second thing is just be aware of where your bracket is going to sit whenever you close the hood. So the first hood close should be gentle, take your time, make sure that you're not slamming it and damaging your fender with your new bracket. So let's go knock out the passenger side. Yeah, I'm just making sure there's a gap in between. All right, so I'm looking here behind the hood, and you guys can potentially come see it as well here in a minute, but I'm making sure that there is a gap in between where the bracket ends and where the hood ends. That way there's no rubbing, any vibrations over time. All right, just gonna do a slow test fit here. Looking at both sides as it comes down. Looks like it's gonna be good here. on the driver's side and as well on the passenger side. Plenty of room, plenty of clearance. I'll just put the hood somewhat closed. You guys can take a look for yourself. Perfect location. I can probably reposition these and turn these as needed so they're more directly to the front rather than angled, but looks great. Now that I have it soldered, I'm going to slide the heat shrink up, heat shrink each side, the hot and the negative or ground, separately. I mean in separate tubes. Now the rest is going to be tucked away as I had mentioned earlier, but I am just going to clean it up a little first by getting this little wire cover over it and then just taping around the whole thing. Now this last cable, as I had mentioned earlier, I can prep. However, I guarantee I'm going to cut it to a different length once I'm under the hood. But I'm gonna prep at least the wires by getting them loose while I'm here. There's the two cables. I can strip them as we get out there. But we're ready to mount our lights and then start wiring and complete our project. Okay guys, so a couple things here. I have 11mm socket. I'm gonna mount these slowly. Make sure that they're right side up, of course. I am tangled. Yep. Good catch. Daniel just told me I was tangled. Obviously make sure that your lights are right side up. You'll know that because two reasons. The Baja Designs emblem goes to the top. The second thing I want to say is one washer is going to go on the inside of the bracket, one washer on the outside. I'm going to get everything started by hand on this first light. Let's see, it might be easier to start on the top too. Those two on the outside are done. Two on the inside may be a little bit harder, obviously. Just kind of reaching around the back side, but it was much easier installing the brackets to the hood by doing this. Now that those are started, I can tighten them down. Now I'm just gonna run my cable the way I did on Big Blue. Same exact way for the pods. I have a couple, well, I shouldn't say same exact way. I had the upfitter switches in my old truck. I just got rid of the upfitter switches in this truck for the Switch Pros. So what I am about to show you is rewiring or running the wire without the upfitter switches. The upfitter switches had plugs that held the same tubing I'm about to use across the engine bay. Now I need to improvise. No harm, no foul. I'm gonna come over that way. So I'm just moving this foam pad in and around to where it is going to help keep my wires where they need to be, running the wire from above the hood from the light all the way across the top of the engine bay. The wire is right here from above the hood, behind the foam pad, under the hood, and across the engine bay. Next, I'm going to put this in the tubing. Now that we have that here, I can zip tie it up top across the top of the engine bay. Just make sure it's untwisted. That way the opening is towards the back. Let's see if I can even hug that lip and then zip tie around it. Let's see if that'll work. I'm not sure. awesome. I'm going to tuck this cord back around the same way I did on the driver's side, leaving that behind. It needs to go underneath. It cannot go over in this situation the way I have it wired. Maybe in yours it could, but nice and snug, nice and clean. And coming out along the back side of the Switch Pro module, right here is my hot and my ground. So I'm ready to start splicing. We're gonna do a test fit first, and then obviously finalize everything. It's a quick, easy do-it-yourself project, or do it with a buddy project. Daniel's been a hookup on this one. Just gonna disconnect the battery first for the, what, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time today? I don't even know. It's been a while. But to you guys, video is new today. So the wire we're gonna be working with is the brown wire, which is number 1, which is going to be my XL80s. This one wire this time. Test run is gonna be done first. There's planes flying overhead. We're about to blind them with this test run on, not on purpose. So drum roll. Let's see. Switch Pro app again. Man. Jeez, it's like the bat symbol. That's insane. Wow. So just so you guys can see, I'm strobing. Flash. I can switch from flash directly to strobe, or I can just leave them on. Turn on and off here. These are just quick actions. I need to program all of my buttons, even for my chase lights and my pod holes. I can dim them as well. So yeah, lots of fun going on. We're gonna be safer off-roading, guys. It's gonna be a lot more fun, and it just looks cool. So happy day here. Now I can disconnect the battery, solder our wire together. It's already heating up, ready to go. And yeah, call it a night, right? Well guys, to you this is only another day. To us, it's been a long day. We started at 8:30 in the morning. It is now almost 11:30 at night. 3 sets of lights, all hooked up to the Switch Pros. Super grateful. I made mistakes, you guys probably saw that, but I made mistakes, I learned from them. This is my first time doing a project this big wiring wise, so super stoked to have done it all. Now I'm safer on the trails, gonna have a better looking truck while I'm doing it. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and keep sharing, guys, because the channel is growing. We're almost to 5,000. We're growing fast. Let's get there. See you guys next time.